What happens when the hero of Israel becomes a hunted fugitive? David had escaped Saul's palace. David fled through the night. But he wasn't safe yet. He had nowhere to hide. Ahead of him was uncertainty. So he ran to the one man who had first told him that God had a purpose for his life, Samuel. David knew he needed to go to Ramah. There, David found Samuel, the prophet who had anointed David. For a moment after David had spent so long running, finally had someone he could speak to and share the weight of what he was carrying. And he told Samuel everything Saul had done to him, the attacks, the pursuit, the danger, the reason he had been forced to flee. And Samuel listened. Then they left Ramah together and went to Naioth. Soon the news reached Saul. David is at Naioth in Ramah. Saul didn't hesitate. He sent messengers to capture David. Their mission was simple: find David and bring him back to Saul. But when they arrived, something happened that they never expected. Saul's messengers arrived at Naioth, but instead of finding David alone, they encountered Samuel standing among a company of prophets who were prophesying. Then, the Spirit of God came upon Saul's messengers, and they began to prophesy. Saul's men couldn't carry out their mission to capture David. They were no longer acting according to Saul's command. They were caught up in the work of God's Spirit. Saul heard what happened. Perhaps he thought the first group had simply failed, so he sent another group. So they went, but the same thing happened. They too prophesied. Saul was informed. His plan had failed again, so he sent a third group, and again, the same thing happened. 3 groups, 3 attempts, 3 failures, but Saul wasn't finished. Because now, the king, Saul himself, would go. And Saul traveled to Ramah. He reached a great well at Sechu and asked questions, then he continued his journey. Surely David's hiding place was about to be exposed, but Saul was about to discover something far greater than David's hiding place. He was about to encounter the God who was protecting David.
As Saul approached Naioth, the Spirit of God came upon him also. And when he arrived, he came before Samuel in this extraordinary state. The Bible says in 1 Samuel 19:24 that Saul removed his clothes and prophesied before Samuel, remaining there throughout the day and night. And people began asking the remarkable question, is Saul also among the prophets? The king who had come to capture David could not still carry out his own mission. There are moments when you may feel like David. You did nothing wrong, yet somehow trouble keeps pursuing you. You run from one situation, and another problem appears. You wonder, where can I go? David's flight to Ramah is a reminder that when life turns against you and jealousy or betrayal drives you out, God often gives you a place of refuge. Notice what happened at Naioth. David didn't have to fight Saul's messengers or confront the king. God intervened. Sometimes the battle you're worried about is a battle God is already handling. So if you're facing something beyond your control, don't assume that because you cannot see a way out, God doesn't have one. So here's the challenge. When the world feels hostile, where do you run? Do you chase comfort? Or do you return to the source of your calling? Where is your Ramah? If David's story spoke to you, don't forget to share and subscribe to True Words Media for next episode. God bless you.